Hello everyone, and welcome to your 15-minute session focusing on strength. So today we'll be building strength while we focus on the alignment principles and modifications through to progressions of vinyasa flow. So this will be a great revisit to technique for many of you, and to also remember how you can scale your practice back or ramp it up as you come into your dynamic flow style classes. So we're going to start on hands and knees. Now when you do come onto hands and knees into tabletop position, make sure that your fingertips are spread wide and that your wrists are directly underneath your shoulders. So you're not too narrow, but you're also not too wide. So you are stacking wrists directly underneath your shoulders. And make sure that you're not automatically dumping all of the weight into the heel of your hand. You are keeping weight evenly distributed between all 10 finger pads and the heel of your hand. Now separate your knees underneath your hips. So once again, stacking joints, finding stability. And just spend a few moments here just gently opening out through the spine with your cat and cow. So it's an inhale to dip the belly, lift the chin and tailbone, and exhale to round through the upper back, tuck the tailbone and chin under. So just sit this simple linear movement to open out through the spine to start to wake everything up. Now some of you may feel that when you come into dynamic style classes that you don't have the strength that you might think that you need to work through vinyasa flows. Now especially when you are coming into a power flow type class, which is quite fast, or a hot flow where we do work through double chaturangas. But this already is your home base. So now pausing in your tabletop, because if it's too much for you to be in full plank or a modified plank, you can always come to hands at knees and take a mini push-up. So start to work through 3 of those now, just so you have a little bend through the arms. Elbows are still heading towards the back of the room. So you can always work through your push-ups here, that chaturanga type movement, before bringing chin, chest down towards the ground, slide your legs long and come into baby cobra. So coming down onto your bellies now, use your back strength to lift your chest off the ground, roll your shoulders down and back, keep your feet anchored. Let it go, 2 more like that. Inhale, rise up, use your back strength, roll your shoulders back. Exhale, chin to the mat. And 1 more, inhale, rise up, building that strength along your spine. Chin to the mat, come back through your knees, knees spread wide, big toes touch. This is your child's pose. So as we work through these progressions today, if you need a break at any stage, please come here. Forehead on the ground, sinking hips towards heels, neutral spine. Take 1 more deep breath. Then come back up onto the hands, tuck your toes, hips towards the sky, downward facing dog. So with your down dog, you're essentially creating an upside down V from your hands to your hips to your heels. If it feels good, you can pedal the feet out gently, waking up the back of the legs. Keep rolling your shoulders away from your ears, gently moving your heels down towards the earth. Now, if your hamstrings or lower back are feeling tight today and you're rounding through your spine, bend through your knees to allow length to appear along your backbone. It's more important in your down dog to have a long neutral spine than it is to have straight legs. So just keep that in mind. Then start to walk your feet up towards your hands. Toe heel your feet out to hip distance, reaching for your elbows, ragdoll, maybe a little sway from side to side. Releasing along the spine and through the back line of your body. Then bring your hands down to the ground, toe heel your feet in together to touch. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale to fold. Bend the knees if you need to. Inhale, 1 more. Fingertips stay on the ground or they come to your shins. Make sure they don't hover. Then fold forward, legs straight or bent, whatever you need. Then slowly come all the way up to standing, palms touch overhead, and bring your hands to heart center, Samastiti. So standing tall and proud here, lift up through the crown of your head. Ground down through the soles of your feet. Then as you inhale, reach the hands towards the sky, palms touch. Exhale, swan dive forward, bend the knees as much as you need to bring your fingertips to the ground. Inhale to lift halfway, make sure the hands aren't hovering, they're on the ground or your shins. Then step back into your high plank. Bring knees down to the ground, come to tabletop. Remember, this is where you can come back to. Mini push-up through the arms, double chaturanga in tabletop position. Then slide the hips down, roll the shoulders back, baby cobra. Chin to the mat, come back through your knees. Child's pose, you can rest here or lift the hips to your downward facing dog. So that's your option one. This could be a really good way if you're lacking in that upper body strength to gently start to build that up slowly. Then start to walk your feet up towards your hands, toe heel the feet into to touch, lift and lengthen with your inhale. Exhale, fold forward. And then inhale, come all the way to stand, palms touch. And bring your hands to heart center. Pause here, feel your center, standing tall and proud. Next, inhale, hands towards the sky, palms touch. Exhale, bend the knees as much as you need to bring your fingertips to the ground. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. Then step the feet back into your high plank and bring your knees down to the ground. So this time you'll see the difference between this and tabletop is that my knees are no longer underneath my hips. They're now further back so that my spine through to my legs is one lever now. Inhale to hold. Exhale, bend the elbows to 90 degrees. Inhale, press back up. Bend through the elbows to 90 degrees, then shine the heart forward, roll your shoulders back to your baby cobra. Keep your feet on the ground. Chin comes to the mat, come back through your knees, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. So again, another variation for you. That double chaturanga arm bend, elbows graze the rib cage, shining the heart through as you come into your cobra before flipping over the toes for your downward facing dog. Come up onto your tippy toes, bend your knees, step or float the feet up to meet the hands. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhale, come all the way to stand, palms touch. And bring your hands to heart center. Ground down through the soles of the feet, lift up through the crown of your head. Inhale, hands towards the sky, palms touch. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale to lift halfway. Plant the hands as you step back into your full plank now. If possible, keep the knees lifted. Shift the weight into your tippy toes so shoulders come past your wrists. Elbows graze the rib cage, bend them to 90 degrees, then press back up. Bend to 90 degrees, then start to bring the heart through to upward facing dog. The only thing touching the ground, tops of the feet and your hands, legs are lifted. Then flip over the toes, push back, downward facing dog. Now you can start to feel the difference in that progression where you're keeping your knees off the ground, you're coming into your up dog instead of your cobra, and then coming straight back to your down dog. Then you can come up onto the balls of the feet, bend the knees, and you can actually step or float feet up to meet hands lightly with control. Then lift and lengthen. Exhale to fold. Come all the way to stand, palms touch. And bring your hands to heart center. Take a moment. Observing your heart rate and your breath. Tapping in to settle everything back down. Inhale, hands towards the sky, palms touch. Swan dive forward, let it go. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands. You can step or float the feet back with control. Now find that double chaturanga arm bend, knees on or off the ground, or take your tabletop variation, back bend of choice as you inhale, meeting back in downward facing dog as you exhale. Bring your right leg towards the sky.
And then use your core to step right foot in between your hands. Find your runner's lunge. Pause there, open out around the pelvis. We won't be here long, but we will twist. Left hand stays on the ground, right hand to your hip or towards the sky. One more breath. Bring your right hand down. Step back into three-legged dog now. Now you have the option of staying here, or keep the right leg lifted as you come forward into a three-legged plank. Option to bend through the elbows and then start to bring the heart through to your upward facing dog and come back for your downward facing dog. So you're more likely to have a three-legged flow when you're in a slow flow or flow class. With our double chaturangas in hot, most of the time you'll keep your feet on the ground. Next inhale, left leg towards the sky. Then bring your left foot in between the hands. Runner's lunge. Adjust the front foot if you need to. Open out around the hips. Right hand stays on the ground, left hand towards your hip or towards the sky. Take a deep breath. Bring your left hand down. Step back, three-legged dog. You can pause here or have a little bit of a play. Start to shift the weight into the hands, into your plank with the leg lifted. Bend the elbows 90 degrees. Come over onto the top of the right foot as you shine the heart forward, meeting back in downward facing dog. So you can start to feel the difference there. You can either hold down dog for 3 breaths or come down into your child's pose. So you can start to feel the difference when you are working double chaturangas. You can feel the difference when you're coming into a single chaturanga with a leg lifted. So these are all options. Now we'll run through one more. So from your downward facing dog, lift your right leg towards the sky. This time as you come forward, bend through the elbows. Option to switch your legs over before you bring your heart through. If you're not sure what just happened, that's okay. We've got another side. So from here, as you inhale, left leg towards the sky. Shift the weight into the hands, so you're coming into your plank with the leg lifted. Bend through the elbows, switch your legs over before you come into your up dog. Push back into down dog. All right, rest. Come into your child's pose. Give your arms a bit of a break. Now this is a session that you can watch a few times, but it's just good to see the options that you have available, because sometimes at the start of class you need to warm up first. In the middle of class you might be feeling strong and dynamic, but then you might start to feel fatigued. Alignment will always win over depth. So we'll always pull you back to make sure that your technique and positioning is correct before coming into the more advanced variations. But it's good to know where you can go. It's also good to know where you can scale back to when you do feel fatigued. So I hope you enjoyed that short session. I hope that you're feeling a little more knowledgeable about your body positioning and the options that you can take into your vinyasa style classes, so you can carry those alignment techniques into flow, slow flow, hot, or any other workshop that we offer you. So have a wonderful day, and I'll look forward to seeing you back on your mat soon. Namaste.